before we start, I'd just like to introduce to you the Senior Vice President for To Go Travel, Stephen Dagot.
Hello everyone. Thank you for coming.
Okay, so basically today is the launch of MV St. Therese. As you know, the government now is stepping up its local tourism, local domestic tourism, and in support of that, To Go Travel is actually adding on more fleet to support the tourism industry in the country. So to tell you more about it, okay?
I just wanted to let you know, first of all, a quick background of what To Go Travel is now from what it was before. To Go Travel actually started from the integration of the two biggest passenger shipping brands in the Philippines, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, Negros Navigation and the Aboitiz Transport System, which operated the brand Super Ferry. So when we in Negros Navigation bought out the Aboitiz Transport Group back in December of 2010, we've created this new brand because of the brand loyalties that happened with Negros Navigation and Super Ferry. We couldn't retain the two brands into just one company. There were different brand loyalties, like the Negros Island people would only take Negros Navigation ships. The Cebu-bound passengers would only take the Super Ferry ships. So to counter this, we had to rebrand the whole company, which was of course my project and my team's project. We came out with To Go, meaning the To Go group of companies, one of which is To Go Travel. So we wanted to make sure the brand To Go stays ubiquitous, with especially with the color of what it was. The brand of To Go originally was from the Aboitiz group. That was their courier brand. So when we did market research, that was the name that stood out. Maybe because it was short, it was positive, the color is very vibrant and young and fresh. So we just rehashed it a little bit, repackaged it, and branded every single operating business unit into that brand name for consistency, of course. And then back to Go Travel. So when we did the integration, through the years, we've garnered, of course, international investment from our partners in China and our KGL group, which is based in, I believe, in Kuwait. It gave us funding to start refleeting a lot of our ships. So back in the day, people would always think that when you take a ship, it's old, it's unsafe, it's boring, the food is not good. So it was a trip that people would had to endure just because they couldn't afford to fly. Now, with the dawn of this integration, at the same time, the budget airlines were just growing in the Philippine market then. Competition became really, really tough. So we were tasked with how do we attract passengers to come back to sea travel. Of course, number one that we wanted to take was service. Improve our customer service. That was the easiest one to do. Incorporate in the corporate culture the spirit of service excellence, and of course, good food and beverage. So with those two combined, we wanted our passengers to experience feeling special. Just because they have a small budget to travel, it doesn't mean that they have to endure the long journey because that's the only thing that they could afford. So we gave them a lot of other options, provided entertainment, and then slowly renovated all the facilities, provided different accommodation types, different restaurant types, and entertainment. So every year we're trying to add something exciting. And of course, our program on board, it's never boring. There's always something at the bar, any activities. So they do many activities, which it depends on the destination. Also, through the years, we've also have done a lot of cruise ship parties, meaning one of which it started with a La Boracay in Boracay. So it was a big event in Boracay. An event organization partnered with us, packaged it as a cruise ship party. So that's what started the cruise ship party to the destination. So we did that again for Sinulog for this year, and it was very much a success. They set up outside a whole stage with international DJs playing. So we can see here that the ship is not only a form of transportation, but also we package it as an experience and for unique events, a venue for unique events, even conferences and meetings, sales and incentive trips. So this is what the market that we want to reach now, to show to the people you can also do your meetings here, your family reunion, your parties, your weddings, anything under the sun that you can do, which is very unique because you can sail to that destination with your family and your loved ones and get to a certain destination in the Philippines and enjoy that with the people that you're traveling with. So we're very, very heavy in promoting domestic tourism. So again, especially in Boracay, the local government is very thankful. When we started flying the Boracay route in 2012, it increased the number of people. So therefore, the economy of that island also increased. More demand for hotels because our ships carry, larger capacities, and it made Boracay affordable to students, young families, young professionals. So this is what's going on now. And of course, with the coming Labor Day weekend, there's also going to be a couple of events on board the ship going to Boracay. So these are the things that we want to build to encourage people to be more adventurous, not just the young ones, which we already have, but other markets as well, other market segments that we want to cater as well to give them the more ideas on what you can do on board the ship. So any other questions that you may have or questions? Internationally certified by the Bureau Veritas and other international shipping societies. So we don't just comply with our marina minimum requirements, but also internationally. We're insured in London, so everything we have to pass stringent, quarterly examination. The crew, everyone is asked randomly one by one, is interviewed by the class societies. So we want to ensure that safety is the number one concern, of course, from our passengers to, of course, our customers and the world. For here, the ship, of course, is a RoPax vessel, meaning it's passenger and cargo vessel. So under the to-go group of companies, we're under the shipping group. So we recognize revenues by vessel. So meaning there's two sources, meaning to-go travel, which is the passenger side, and to-go freight, which is the freight side of the business. Because originally the biggest money maker for shipping companies are the freighters, of course. So the passenger business is mostly the cash generating business of a shipping company. So we want to make sure that it doesn't just make money in freight, but we're also providing adequate cash supply for the company by providing a lot of options to the passengers, doing aggressive marketing and promotions to grab a hold of that market. Because people think with the budget airlines, have you lost your market share? Before, when we started, yes, we have a little bit, of course, but now slowly, as we repackage ourselves, we're trying to sell the experience, not just the journey. So this is our unique selling point, is the journey itself and the venue as not just a means of travel, but not just to go to your destination, but also to experience with your family and your friends.
Which ports does MD safely serve?
We service basically the majority of ports of the Philippines. We have 24 ports of call now. Anything from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. We'll give you copies in your press kit, but of course our major ports are Manila, and then in Visayas, Manila, Batangas, of course, we have two ports. The one in Batangas sails to Caticlan, and of course Odiongan and Romblon, because that's the rural market. And then here in Manila, we have, of course, Coron. Palawan is one of now our top performing destinations, and with the recent boost in tourism in that region, it further even gave us an opportunity to double our trips, our service. So we have twice a week service now from Manila to Coron. And that's an awesome trip for if you want a perfect weekend getaway or a short getaway. And of course, other places in Visayas would be Cebu, Bacolod, and Iloilo. Bacolod being one of our very, very strong shipping market as far as passengers. Very, very loyal. And then in Mindanao, Cagayan de Oro is our number one hub. We also have Zamboanga. But in To Go Travel, we added what's called the Travel Link, which we link Cagayan de Oro to other provinces in the south, especially Davao, Cotabato, and General Santos City. Because if you take the ship, before we had a voyage down to Jensan and Cotabato. However, because of the the layout of our islands, the trip would be very, very long. So what we did is we partnered with the big bus companies in Mindanao, and then we called it a travel link. So when the passengers buy their ticket, not only that it includes their meals, but also their ticket to, for example, they're going to Jensan. So it's like a transfer service that there's no more hassle. When they go down to the pier in Cagayan, they don't have to, where's that bus going to, which bus is going to this city. So it can also pass at different towns where that bus is going. So this is our, again, number one reason why our Mindanao market is very, very strong, because we made travel more convenient for them. Not only for Mindanao, but also for Cebu. If we service, for example, Tagbilaran. As you know, Supercat is also under the To-Go travel brand. This is our fast craft business that connects short haul services like Batangas Katiklan, Cebu, Bohol, or Cebu Ormoc. These Bacolod, Iloilo. So these are the short haul distances that they're smaller vessels. They're faster catamarans. So with our big vessels that serve the major islands, they transfer to Supercat to go the short distances. So it's a little bit, again, more efficient for the passengers.
How will the acquisition of MV St. Therese affect your fleet?
This, again, as mentioned by our president earlier, when we acquired this is part of our refleeting program. This would replace one of our older ships, which is St. John of Arc, which has almost the same, as big capacity as this vessel. We want to make sure when we take out a vessel, we want to replace it with a better one. So this is going to be ongoing as part of the development of To-Go travel, because we want to make sure that even every dry dock, which all ships must undergo every 2 years, every dry dock we change everything from flooring, furniture, everything must be changed. So not just for the hull and machinery, but for me, I'm in charge of the hotel business, so this is what we want to give. We always improve that part of the ship to give constant customer service and exceed guest expectations.
When will St. Therese start sailing and where will it go first?
Tonight at 9 o'clock. Tonight's the maiden voyage. And so far it's about 1,200 passengers now. The capacity of this is 1,866. So it's a good pickup for a maiden voyage. And we're going now towards summer, so which is peak season for us. In a couple of weeks, it's our super peak season. So now it's part of our preparations for to ensure that the surge of passengers going to the provinces during Holy Week, that we can service them.
Where's the destination?
Oh, sorry, I didn't answer the question. This one goes to Bacolod, Iloilo, and Cagayan de Oro. So that's the route of this vessel. It just goes like that twice a week.
Bacolod, Iloilo, CDO twice a week.
Yes. So we use the bigger ships with bigger capacities to go through, we call it the long haul from Manila to Mindanao via Visayas. It always stops because passengers and freight have to kind of stop and be delivered to different islands.
So sorry, may I ask again, how many passengers are you going to have for this maiden voyage? How many passengers for this maiden voyage?
Right now we have the system as of today was about 1,200.
Close to full capacity.
Yeah, close, yes. It's actually pretty good. But again, taking into consideration the coming peak season, so this is where passenger movement is starting to really build up. And then next week it's already our super peak season. So we're going to get all of this.
Aside from the finishing, how different will St. Therese be from St. John of Arc?
St. John of Arc, as I mentioned, is again an older vessel, but the facilities were also renovated when it was refurbished. What we wanted to give is not just different vessels. We want to make sure that the look of each vessel as we change them is consistent. So the passenger, when they expect to ride a To-Go travel vessel, they would expect the same service, the same kind of look and feel of the other ships. Again, for consistency.
But in terms of passenger capacity, will it be the same as Joan of Arc?
Joan of Arc is actually bigger. It's 2,300. So it was hard for us to acquire a vessel of that size.
Thank you.
Do you want to share the ticket prices compared to airfare?
Right now, our average ticket price is about 1,000 pesos. So, but we do promo, especially during lean season, that you can avail. Our current promos are 488 pesos, Manila to Visayas, things like that. Of course, we also run like the airlines, wherein we have promotional fares during lean season. During peak season, of course, our fares are much higher. However, this still runs on average about 1,800 if you're going to Mindanao. So that's the price range. As you can see, the gap between shipping and airlines, it's still pretty large. It still gives the affordability factor for passengers to be able to go to their provinces. And our plus is because we are a larger vessel and a larger capacity, we have up to 75 kilos of free baggage allowance, so which you can bring with you that much, right, in an airplane that you would be charged an arm and a leg. So that's again one of the unique selling points that we have. Not just for we have a lot of passengers that are merchants in Visayas and Mindanao. They do their buying in Manila and then they sell it in Mindanao, so it's very helpful for them. And of course, as we dip into the tourist market segment, we get a lot of the sports fans, like the kiteboarders, surfers, wherein they can bring their equipment, or us, they take the ship, take their bikes with them, and then they come off. They did it, I think, in Romblon earlier, in Palawan they did that, or motorcycles. So it's easier for them to just roll on and then roll off the vessel.
Are there any more questions?
Any other questions?
How many will you be employing, sir? How many have you employed for this vessel?
For this vessel, it's about 200.
That's for the hotel.
Yes. Hotel deck and engine.
Wow.
And then this is also, we also have our on-the-job training program. Like I said, our vessel is not just for passengers, but it is also a training ground for cruise ship management students, hotel management students, and deck and engine students. As you know, the Philippines is pretty much the #1 provider of seafarers in the world. They prefer why the Filipinos, because first of all, we're service oriented. We speak good English, so this is why we are preferred to be the source of employees on board international cruise ships, any other ships in the world. So we have partnered with pretty much all the universities and schools that they have what's called a shipboard familiarization program. There's 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. It's packaged in that the students can come on board, have lectures here, experience what it is, see how the galley operates in the kitchen, how our front office is run, food and beverage, housekeeping, and for marine, in the BS Marine Engineering courses, it's either the deck, where of course the bridge and the captain are staying, or an engine, where they can see engine operations and how maintenance, how things work in a vessel. So we're not just providing, again, transportation, but also training ground to produce competitive Filipino workers for the great demand abroad.
How many cadets will you be taking in?
It depends, because during, of course, peak season, we lower, but on average, it's by the hundreds. So I can't give you the exact figure, but we do. It's a constant, ongoing thing.
If you want to travel a little bit in style, can you give us an overview of the facilities and the experiences that you can have in the ship?
Sure. As I mentioned before, we have different class types. So we have our VIP suites. Those are the bigger ones. Some of the vessels, again, they're pretty much different, but they have the same look and feel. Some have queens, some have double beds, perfect for families. We have different suites as well. We have business class accommodations, a little bit of bunks with ensuite toilet facilities, and then we have the tourist accommodation if you're a little bit on the budget, air-conditioned facilities as well in that, with shared bathroom facilities, and of course economy. We have that's our most affordable one, which of course shared bathroom facilities. But everyone can enjoy the economy dining section, the entertainment on board our ship. As for the upper market segment, of course, if you're in the cabin class or the VIP class, you get to dine here in the first class dining. Your priority dining here with us. And I'm not sure if I mentioned, our ticket prices already includes the meal. So that's again one of the very important factors to know, that the meals are already included. It depends again on your journey. If you're coming from Manila to Visayas and time. So if it happens to be around breakfast time, you get your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner included in the ticket.
From Manila to Iloilo trip, how many meals do you provide?
It depends on the schedule. If you leave at night, so you can get a dinner and then breakfast and then lunch. So it depends. Sometimes you get dinner and then breakfast. So it depends, but it's always within that ticket price. So which is good because people realize that they don't have to, bring their baon, or because baon only lasts a few hours, so they eat it and then they think. Again, the mentality is they always think that the ship on board is expensive, it's not good. But if you compare our prices to outside, it's pretty much the same as dining at any restaurant. But now with the food included in the ticket, it makes it even more convenient. And you're not just limited to that. We also have a buffet, an open buffet in the dining from here, first class and also economy, that you can add on if you want an extra soup, if you want cake or dessert or any snacks that you need. There are other options as well. And for the suites, you also have room service that you can just, if you don't want to dine upstairs, you can just press the button, tell the attendant what you want from the menu, which is found in the suite. So you can order that way. So we really try to make it convenient as much as possible to everyone.
Okay, are there any more questions? Okay, we'll have our tour shortly to be, it will be